Okay, cool. I think this will work this time. All right, so I'm going to quickly show you how to use the sequencer to animate static objects or what have you. Basically, you can animate anything in sequencer if you want. And I'm just going to show you like the basics, and it's really fun to build upon that. Okay, so I have my world here that you are free to go into and follow along with me, or you can just, go anywhere and we're gonna bob some crates. So this is the file path here, which is content maps test levels render farm. That's where my stuff is. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of get where our crate is. Okay, so I'm in my scene. I'm a little askew here. All right, so essentially what we're trying to simulate, or I'm going to show you, is, things that are just going to be playing in the world over and over again, and you don't want to have to like blueprint all the way through the world blueprints. So we're going to do something easier than that. I have things labeled for my cameras and things like that because I don't like to be looking around for all the stuff, and it's especially when it's stuff that you're animating, it becomes super easy to just like lose track of everything. So I'm gonna Jake cam test, put a thing there up in my cameras, and let's see here. So we're gonna start a new sequence. You're gonna go to cinematics, add level sequencer. We're gonna go ahead and put Bob crates. I am going to go ahead and put that up into my folder. Always do that. I swear to God, it gets really frustrating if you're not tracking everything just right as you do it. And I'm going to kind of just set it over where I'm going to be animating some things. So when I click on it and go into my details panel, I can open the level sequencer, and it is over here. I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. You can put whatever you want. Okay, so we have our sequence and our sequence timeline open, and it is just like everything else, like with Premiere or After Effects, things that are key driven in timelines. And so you got the scrubber. Pressing spacebar is how you scrub through and play. The basic navigation hand works the same here as everywhere else. What we want to do is go get a crate. Well, that's an outdated crate. Let's just do a large crate. We're going to drag it up here, kind of just get it in our starting position. And again, I want to always put everything up into my folder hierarchy where I want them. And when I go to my sequencer with my crate selected, I can grab it and drag that into my timeline. And by default, it gives you your translation settings. So everything that you see here is also mirrored over here in the details panel that we're used to seeing. And if you look all through this details panel, you can see this little icon here. And these are things that you can key over into your sequencer. Say you don't want something to be visible or what have you, you can go in here and there it is. It's like you can hide the actor in game and key that. Anyway, so we have one crate, and so what I'm going to do is go to my starting and my timeline, and let's set the location here. And also, if you set a key, you always want to make sure you have your scrubber over to the next position before you start moving something, because if you didn't move it and then you're like, I want it to go all the way over here, and then you're like, oh gosh, I forgot to move the timeline, it's just gonna snap back. So it's just something you gotta get used to, is place the key scrubber, move the thing, key it, then move the scrubber, then move the thing. Otherwise you're just kind of like frustrating yourself. Okay, so we set one location keyframe I'm going to go over here to 50, drag it up a little, and because it's a crate, okay, I want to do 4 keys. So anytime you want to make your timeline bigger, you have your start and your end, and we're just going to make it a little bit bigger here so that we can just have a better, a more soft flowing bob to our crate. Up, we're going to key it again. And always when there's something that is going to be playing on a loop in your world, you want to make sure that your ending key and your beginning key are the same, so that when it loops, you can't tell that there's like a looping going on. So if I simulate here, if we go over these crates, you know, I made sure that there wasn't like it suddenly just teleported to wherever the first key was. Like it goes very smoothly. You can hotkey copy these keyframes and hotkey paste them. If we scrub through our timeline, we have a Bobby crate, and if you press spacebar, you can see the crate going around and stuff. I'm going to grab my crate here and get a duplicate. Let's, I don't know, start it there. And it's already up in here, but it's not in our timeline yet, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that over here. And we'll stagger these after we translate them. And, you know, depending on what you're, you know, making, like, so, as it's, say there's stuff inside the crate or what have you, these things will kind of like, maybe, I don't know, when it's on its way down, you can imagine that the stuff in the crate is heavier on this corner. So when I actually want to adjust this and I get my start point, and then, you know, like bring it down a little. There we go. So our crate is a little bit more organic looking here. And that's pretty good for the first one. And then let's go ahead and mess with the second one. So it's a little bit staggered. We can also make this a little bit more organic, just a little bit more if some of these, you know, aren't firing at the exact same time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I like it. If you're a snob for keeping these organized, you know, you can just make a folder and Bob crates. I better be recording. I hope I didn't just fuck up. Okay, we have our stuff keyed, and we can also lock that so we don't accidentally, you know, mess with translations that we didn't want to do. And if I go to my Bob crate thing here, you have these options to play, and then let's, you know, go faster, loop it, bunch of other things, random start times, a whole bunch of things you can do here. Currently, if I play this, it's not playing when the game is simulating, but if I go to turn it on and then loop it indefinitely, now I have infinite looping crates. I think that is all that you need to know as far as to get started. All these other things that you can key, that you're able to key, like you can get really into it. So I think that's it. Yeah, you should be able to just take off and run with this stuff. So I hope this worked. I hope I recorded. I'll see you later.